Welcome to Week 7 revision.
So which of the following is correctly matched? Yes, so cytoplasm is cytoplasm of a muscle cell. Sarcomere is the smallest unit of contraction, and a myofibril has both actin and myosin.
Good job, smiley face.
So the I band contains so the I band has only actin in it. So this is just the parts of a myofibril. It's one of our slides from this week's PowerPoint. The A band is where the actin and myosin overlap, and it comes up as dark on histology. The I band is only actin. H band is only myosin, and it's basically just the middle of the A band. The Z line, it marks the ends of a sarcomere, and it's where the actin filaments from the two sarcomeres interact. So you have only actin there. And the M lines are right in the middle of the sarcomere, so they divide the A band in half and are in the middle of the Z lines. Next question, please. So according to sliding filament theory, during contraction, so the I band and the Z band both shorten, and the A band remains the same.
Killing it, smiley face.
Which of the following relies only on anaerobic glycolysis? So it's fast twitch 2B because those are activated for short bursts of energy. So something like sprinting or jumping. So most people said all of the above. So the remaining ones use actual oxidative respiration. So just which type of cells are in the image? So those were striated cells with peripheral nuclei, so they'll be skeletal muscle. Cardiac muscle would have had the junctions between them, and smooth muscle is not striated. And glial cells is, it doesn't have that kind of appearance.
Wowee, good job, smiley face.
So what can be the difference between cancer types? Wasn't my question, sir.
Yep, it was my bit. Yep, perfect. So prognosis can be different. The cell origin of the cancer can be different, but all cancers result from the presence of damage to their DNA, and this can be from different factors like the environment or other things. And there's a question on that a bit later. Next question, please.
Oh, we have a new winner, Medcamp, and Yashi is coming close second.
Yeah, which of the following is a characteristic of a cancer cell? So there would be cytoskeletal changes. There would be changes to the nuclear number, and I think I accidentally didn't tick the blue. I'm so sorry, but yes, there wouldn't be any contact inhibition because that was what you would find in a normal cell, which is what prevents like the clumping together. So that's right, and there would not be the presence of cell cycle checkpoints. Hence, why there's that growth, continuous growth. So sorry about that. Next question, please.
Doesn't seem to be a change.
Yeah, I think it's because I didn't with the blue. So which of the following is false about tumors? Yep, perfect. So yes, they can be helpable. Yeah. Next question. And what is false about malignant tumors? Yeah, so you can't determine the tissue of origin. With the minimal cytoplasm, well, there is minimal cytoplasm probably, and that would be related to like the enlarged nucleus as well. Yeah, next question, please.
Wow, Medcamp's really slaying.
Hands got me.
What is true about benign tumors? Yep, so there is no metastasis with benign tumors. They can be an issue if they grow in a very small space, like the brain, perhaps. You can determine the tissue of origin, and with treatment, usually it's surgery. So yes, you can treat benign tumors. Next question, please.
Smiley face has gained a new streak. Good job.
Which of the following can contribute to cancer development? Yep, exactly. All of these can contribute to cancer developing, and there's also a bunch of other factors like bacteria as well, UV light. So there are a lot of different factors there. Next question, please.
And smiley face has finally regained its throne.
So which of the following is true about oncogenes? Okay, so they don't prevent cancer. In fact, they cause cancer, hence why blue's correct. They aren't normally found in the body, but they come from something that is normally found in the body, which the next question we'll touch on. And then they are involved in cell signaling because they keep telling the cell to like grow. Yeah, next question, please.
And Medcamp is back on top with a streak of 5.
Is this
So really-
Ash?
Really close.
Is Ash Medcamp?
I wish.
Okay, which of the following is true about proto-oncogenes? Yeah, so this is what I was saying about before. So proto-oncogenes can become oncogenes. So proto-oncogenes are the ones that are normally found in cells, and they can be normal and good for the body. And yes, they can become oncogenes. They don't promote cancer growth unless they become that oncogene. And they don't promote apoptosis. They just focus on the growth of the cell. Next question, please. Yep, perfect. So the blue one's wrong because proto-oncogenes help with the growth. So losing that function wouldn't help with cancer growth. So you would want a gain of function, so more growth. The yellow and green are right. Yeah. Next question, sorry. Here.
Oh, can I just ask, are you guys hearing the sound, by the way? I just thought of asking.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good.
So which statement is true about DNA damage? Yep, perfect. So inherited is found in all the cells, and then acquired is only in the affected cells that become cancerous. Yeah, and next question, please.
Han is on fire.
Yep, that's what I was going to say.
Yep. I think if you go to the next slide, should be a slide in the next one. Nope. Okay. I will explain it after this question then. Just go to the like the leaderboard section so I can talk through previous question? Okay, I'm not sure why that slide didn't come up, but basically post-birth, the production of blood cells only occurs in the bone marrow, but before birth, it's also produced in the spleen, in the liver, in the yolk sac. It's also still produced in the bone marrow, but yeah, primarily post birth, it's all in the bone marrow. Yeah.
All right, so good to see that most people got this correct. So the main thing to note here is that one of the features of primary healthcare is that it's centered around evidence-based medicine. So it's not really centered around the use of alternative medicine, although alternative medicine can play, a role or like a supplementary role. It's more centered around evidence-based medicine. So, yeah.
Oh wow, medchem's really on fire. Streak of 11. Good job.
Surely we can get a hands up for whoever's medcamp. Show your identity. Jesslyn, is that you? Maybe, possibly.
Silence means yes, so let's just
Silence probably means yes, but well done. Okay, so I guess for this question, I tried to catch a few people out. So in terms of effective primary healthcare, it's actually more patient-centered. It's around the patient taking responsibility for their health, and it's not really a systems-based approach. So yeah, one sort of point to keep in mind.
Oof, it's a
Ooh.
really close battle between Smiley Face and medcamp.
So I'm definitely cheating by answering my own questions, but yeah, so again, I wanted to catch a few people out again. So all of these were correct. Some of the points when I was sort of writing these questions that I myself forgot was sort of things like the intersectoral approach. So that's when to address or to improve primary healthcare, you take actions in sectors outside of health. In terms of the green one, primary health programs often use a participatory approach. That's sort of all about the patient or the individual taking responsibility for their own health. In terms of the difference between a vertical and horizontal approach, PHC, so primary healthcare programs sort of go across a population, and whereas traditional programs sort of go down a population, if that makes sense. So yeah, horizontal sort of doesn't really group people as such into like these vertical columns of, you've got this, you've got that. It's more everyone takes responsibility for their health. So yeah, everything here was correct. Oh, I'm sorry, Hannah.
So to those watching this on YouTube, are you team Smiley Face or team medcamp? It's pretty close either way. who's going to come out on top?
Yeah, this is my question. Just give me 1 second. My internet isn't too good. But yeah, so basically all of them. So like the BRCA gene, although it literally stands for breast cancer gene, but it is tumor suppressor gene, and its mutation is linked to development of other cancers as well. Yeah, so like just a note on the pancreatic. So like it's not, the link isn't that strong, but it is there. So technically it's all of them.
And we're now halfway through the Kahoot. Good job to Smiley Face, who's currently killing it the most.
Yeah, so dormant cancer cells are often not detectable with current diagnostic technology because cancer cells can enter, basically the dormant cells are like cancer cells that enter a state where they're not multiplying or like multiplying at the minimal level. So like they're technically not, basically, they're not like demonstrating those features of cancer cells. So it could be detectable if, say, there's a tumor with imaging technology, but like it is often not detectable. Yeah, well done. So MMR is mismatch repair gene. So that is not a tumor suppressor gene, I don't think. But like other types, so like P53, BRCA, and RB, which is the retinoblastoma gene, they're all tumor suppressor genes. Sorry, can't speak today.
Oh, maybe I should mention MMR, not to be confused with measles, mumps, rubella, which is the first thing I thought when I saw that.
I was just gonna say as well. I was like, is that why? Like,
don't get confused.
Yeah.
With that, totally.
Yep, 50% of all tumors show mutations in loss of function of P53. Not too much to explain here. Basically, P53 is really important. Yep, basically all of them. So like the P53 gene encodes the P53 protein, which is important in like all these checkpoints. Yeah, well done. So basically the two-hit hypothesis is, it says that it requires both alleles to be inactivated for the gene to become ineffective and lead to cancer. So this applies to most tumor suppressor genes, but to the mismatch repair genes as well.
Seems like there's two battles being fought at the moment.
Yay, well done. So basically, it is not associated with Robertsonian translocation, which is a 1421 translocation that's associated with Down syndrome. So like CML could be caused by Philadelphia translocation, which is translocation between chromosomes 9 and 22. And for the last option, so yeah, tyrosine kinase oncogene is basically the gene that's causing CML. Oh, I forgot there's a slide here. Okay, so this slide is taken out of our week 7 slides, and this is basically about the chronic myelogenous leukemia. And yeah, so basically it just the point here being the leukemic cells demonstrates the 922 translocation, which is called Philadelphia translocation. Yep, so the question is which of the following is incorrect. So the red one is correct, like I just mentioned. The second one, so because it is a translocation, so that means basically the genetic material on two chromosomes switch, so there's no loss of genetic material. And for the yellow option, ABL and BCR, basically they are like the genes on like chromosome 9 and 22, and when Philadelphia translocation happens, it kind of fuse together. We'll have slides on this a bit later as well. And so like these two genes, basically they're not oncogenes, they're more like proto-oncogenes, so like they are normal genes, but when they fuse together, they become an oncogene. So if we go to the next slide, oh, let's see. Okay, so looks like the scoreboard hasn't changed that much. Next. Okay, so we've got this slide here. So yeah, basically, like I just said, the ABL1, it is a proto-oncogene. It's on the chromosome 9 and BCR is on chromosome 22. And basically they fuse together if there's a genetic mutation. And if we go to the next slide, I believe there's a picture there. Yeah, so that's what happens. Okay.
Yeah, so this was a pretty straightforward question. So basically, when you put blood into a centrifuge, it separates into the plasma, the buffy coat, and the erythrocytes. So the plasma is like the main component, and it's the liquid component. So it has the water, proteins, metabolites, and nutrients. The buffy coat is essentially all made up of white blood cells, erythrocytes are the red blood cells. Yeah, next slide. I actually think that some of the questions got repeated from earlier. So we'll see. Smiley face, still in the lead there. Yeah, awesome. So plasma is about 55%, so it is a majority. And then erythrocytes take up about 45%, and then the buffy coat takes up less than 1% of the blood. So yeah, that's something that they might ask you in exams. Yeah, so this was,
This is a repeat, right?
yeah,
Skip that. Thanks to the 2 people who answered. Convenient.
extra speedy. So I think the slide should come up here.
Okay.
Yeah, here we go. So as you can see, postnatal, it's all, it does split into tibial, femur. Those are just like your different bones, but it's all coming off your bone marrow. But prenatal, you can see that depending on where along like the trimesters you are, it changes. So you start off with the yolk sac, and then eventually that stops at the end of the first trimester, and then other things sort of come in. But yeah, postnatal is all bone marrow. Next question. Cool. Yep. So yeah, most of you got that. So in terms of what's necessary for the production of red blood cells, you need iron, B12, and folic acid. All of the other options were sort of just to throw you guys off, but yeah, just those 3 there. Smiley
Oh, look who's
faces.
making a comeback.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So can someone explain why this is false? That's all right.
I'm happy you, Ash.
Oh yeah, have a go, Yash.
Pick me. Yeah, no. Erythrocytes don't have organelles, so it doesn't have things like mitochondria for us for it to undergo aerobic respiration. So hence it's anaerobic.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. That's exactly right. Doesn't have a mitochondria, can't undergo aerobic respiration. So instead, it gets like 95% of its energy from anaerobic glycolysis. Yeah, so it doesn't have any organelles. Good job, Yash.
Thanks, Ash.
Did we have this question before or not?
No.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, okay. So this is sort of a more sort of niche question, but I guess it's good to know in terms of structure, just in case they do decide to ask you that. So yeah, hemoglobin, it's found within the red blood cells, and it's made up of the 4 polypeptide chains, which are the globins, and then attached to each one of the polypeptide chains is one heme unit. Yeah. Moving on. Oh,
Just a few questions to go, guys.
yep. The question is false regarding thrombocytes. I didn't finish writing the question. Yep, excellent. So the lifespan of thrombocytes is 10 days. The lifespan of red blood cells is 120 days. But yeah, so thrombocytes are formed from breaking off those megakaryocytes, and they're really important when it comes to clotting. And yeah, similar to how erythrocytes are regulated by erythropoietin, thrombocytes are regulated by thrombopoietin. Yeah, next question. I think the next three are Mehek's questions.
Oof. I wonder who's going to win over the next few questions. Never know.
Oh, never mind. I have one more. Yep, cool. So just going through the other options, the leukocytosis is when there is an increase in leukocytes in the blood. Polycythemia is when there is an increased level of hemoglobin within the blood. And then the last option, thrombocytopenia, is when there is a decrease of thrombocytes in the blood. Yeah. Next question. No change.
Okay, so what the body does to the drug is yep. Oh gosh, sorry. Yep, so it's pharmacokinetics, and what the drug does to the body is pharmacodynamics. So just got to remember that one. Next question, please. So an example of drug selectivity is a drug's targeting only receptors on a specific organ. True or false? Okay, so targeting receptors on a specific organ is actually specificity, and selectivity is when they're just targeting receptors wherever they're found in the body. Yep. Next question.
And in fact, last question is next.
Yeah.
Ooh, Yashi has got a answer streak of 7. Good job. And we still have smiley face on top. I wonder if he can maintain it. He or she can maintain it.
Surely a 20,000 point question coming up.
Okay, the key fitting the lock but not opening it is indicative of an agonist or antagonist. Yep, perfect. Antagonist, because if it were opening it, it would be an agonist.
Woo.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it is.
Hannah.
Hannah, good job. Medcamp second, and of course, number 1 is
Smiley face.
Smiley face. So if you are Team Smiley, why don't you go ahead and
Raise your hand.
Yeah, and if for those of you watching this on YouTube, like this video and subscribe.
Yay.
Yeah, I think it was it then. So we finished early. So I just want to say to those watching on YouTube, and also to you guys here, so this Kahoot will be available on the public collection after this lesson. And this video will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. So subscribe to Team Parachute, and because we upload our weekly lessons there, and there'll be more interesting content coming up soon. And slides for week 8 should be, they're supposed to be due on Monday, but I will have them uploaded hopefully tonight. So look forward to that. Okay, does anyone have any questions?
All good. Thanks for coming. Well played, Hannah.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
And if you have any questions, you can always drop them in our questions and feedback Google form. See ya.
Thank you guys. See ya.